First of all, I just want to know if you have heard about the news, if you are aware of what is going on.
Yes, I've heard. I've read in the media what's going on in Edresuman Senior High School.
Okay, so what do you make of the sanctions of them being de-boardinized? In your opinion, do you think it was the best way forward?
One, I think that the school has basic regulations in their school. I am not privy to those regulations, so I will be limited in commenting on the way they handled it internally. For me, as a human rights advocate and somebody interested in the well-being of children, I think that the best standards they could have gone, their best standards they could have gone on in address such an issue. What they did, in my opinion, is way above the belt in looking at children or helping children to go through phases like this. So, and being aware of the current trends that is happening in the world and in the country, I think that they could have handled this in a more in a better way than they have done. The main reason why counseling is set up in these schools is to help assist students like these. One, to help them. This is clearly a behavioral thing that we can manage. I mean, if the school is willing and able, and for our education system to set up systems and structures in place to ensure that when children or pupils or students behave in such a manner, they could take them through a process that will help them understand that their actions may be wrong and the ways in which they could better improve on their attitude and behaviors in school to enable them continue their education and not to put a stop to something that is their rights and they're entitled to. So the idea that this is when they need attention. This is when they need to be looked at and cared for. And given all the assistance they need to see that what they did was not in the right direction, and then there's a better way of going around it. The best way is to keep them close, and the best way was to keep them in school so that the teachers and like I mentioned, the counseling team in the school and the people responsible for ensuring good behavior would monitor them with the assistance of their parents, to ensure that these students do not miss the opportunity of something that has their future in it, which is the education. Human rights can never be enough. Nobody can be denied any rights, even including those who are saying that enough of human rights, can be denied their rights for whatsoever reason. Once they are born as human beings, they have rights and they can never be taken away from them. And so our advice that we should be very careful in making such statements because human rights is inalienable, which means we can't take it away from people being human beings. Secondly, we are not against a punishment as such. What we are against is any punishment or action that will go a long way to infringe on the rights in the long way on the person. Now, in this particular instance, the students are in school. They need to get their education. They are at the final level of their education. What is the impact of the punishment on them? That is the question. If the impact of the punishment on them is to help them improve upon themselves to be better students, if that is the purpose, then we have achieved our purpose by giving them a sanction or a punishment that will help improve their condition and improve on their attitudes and behavior so that they can still access their education, so that their future is not jeopardized because of an action they took as young people. The reason why we put students in school and in the hands of people who are trained is because we trust that they understand and appreciate the difficulty in handling such students. So if they go wayward in a particular way and we believe what they have done is wrong, what we need to do is to put in place measures to help them understand that when they go wrong, there are people there to support them, not to give them sanctions that will put limitations on their future. One, I believe the role of social protection or social welfare comes in here, especially because they are children even if they are not children as maybe defined by our law, they are children in the sense that they are still under the care of someone, and therefore they may need attention and protection from any harm. So social welfare is a key institution that must take up the job from here. Secondly, we believe that the parents have a big role to play. Now, parents need to step in and ensure that their children are protected and not give them further situations that worsen what they're already going through with the public pressure and the shame and the pain that they'll be going through already. So we encourage the parents to be very careful on how they attend to these children, and for social welfare to step in, especially for social welfare to understand, even if all these children really have parents who would be able to pay attention to them, if they have guardians who are going to pay attention to them, because not all children who come to school have all the support system when they go back home. And therefore, it's incumbent on us as a society and government, and even the church and the religious institutions, to provide the needed care and attention and support that these children need. Many people commit offenses, and we do not throw these people who commit offenses out of our society because they have committed an offense and limit their future because of that. So I encourage social welfare, the parents and guardians, and the religious institutions to pay attention to these children. I believe these schools have rules and regulations that, if they implement and they put in place measures to ensure that these children are abiding by these rules and regulations, will limit these instances. I am aware that children are not allowed to send phones to school. The question is, who was supposed to check that these children still have phones in their school? Who was supposed to check and ensure that these children are aware that engaging in sexual activities on campus and even out of campus is not wrong? All these institutions and individuals who are supposed to make sure this happens are the people we are supposed to put a question on and ensure that they are doing their work. So even in this instance, the children are not the only people we are supposed to look at, but the people, housemaster, teachers, class teacher, all those people, we must investigate and find out if they are doing their work well. That contributes to these instances from happening.